Good evening. Welcome to the Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society Monday Media Spotlight. I'm your host, Founder Executive Director Perry Thompson. The Rhythm and Blues Preservation Society is a nonprofit organization that preserves the culture of black music. And April is recognized as National Poetry Month, and tonight I'm honored to do our interview award-winning poetess Naima, the self-love poet. So let's get her on right now. All right, everybody. Give me a minute. Hold on, everybody. Technical difficulties, everybody. Let me get them on here now. So let me get them on, ladies and gentlemen. You know, with these technical difficulties. Okay, I'm asking her to join, so I just sent her a request. Asked her to join live. Let's see if she joins. You know, technical difficulties, very quick. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so while we wait for her, okay, there we go. Here we go. Sent a request. See if she's
Hey.
Monday Music Spotlight. It's a poetry month. Award-winning poetess.
I can't really hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it sounds like, okay, I can hear you a little better now.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. How are
Okay, ladies.
you?
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Naima, self-love poet, is joined on Monday Music Spotlight. Award-winning poetess. How you doing?
I'm good. I can't complain. God is good, you know?
All right. Now, let's go back, the humble beginning. You're from Philadelphia, born and raised?
Yep, Philadelphia, born and raised, like the Fresh Prince song.
Okay, okay. Now, uh, are you a singer per se, or no? Are you're listening singing music, playing instruments and music?
So I started off singing actually. I wanted to be a singer.
Okay.
But some bad decisions, I chose to smoke. And my voice kind of left me, but I still
Oh,
had the
wow.
passion for words.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I became a poet instead.
Okay. So when did you actually start writing your first poem? What age?
I was in elementary school. It was around, I want to say like 8 or 9 when my teacher first taught me what a rhyme scheme was. And it was just
Okay.
like, oh, okay, I like this. So yeah, it became like my thing.
You remember the first poem you wrote?
It was something really cheesy for my mom, I remember. It was like some roses are red, violets are blue type of thing. Yeah, it was really cheesy.
Now, what poem? Now, who inspired you as far as our culture has such great writers and poets. Who inspired you growing up? Who you read?
So my first inspiration, because I started with poetry and short stories.
Okay.
So the first book that I, really remember reading vividly was Omar Tyree, Fly Girl. And
Okay.
yeah, that book has stayed with me for a really long time. And then I followed up with Sister Soldier, The Coldest Winter Ever. And to
Okay.
me, it was like um literature, but with like so much excitement and poetry in itself with telling the story. So that's what got me writing my short stories. And then the legendary Black Ice, he inspired me originally with poetry. I saw him on Def Poetry Jam by accident. I wasn't supposed to be watching it when I was younger, but I saw him perform, and it was just like, wow, I want to do that. But I never imagined that I would actually be doing that. It was crazy. It was crazy for me.
Wow. Okay. So, what transpired in your life that because from your bio, I read that your poems are about self love and awareness. So,
Yeah.
what happened in your life that made you want to go that route as far as your words?
Um, I was in two different abusive relationships. And
Mm,
it was because I didn't love myself.
yeah.
So I was basically living for my partner or living for the other person instead of living for me.
Okay.
And once I found the strength to try to leave, that's when things became really abusive, and I didn't love myself enough to say, hey, enough is enough. I
Right.
deserve better than this. I kept sticking around. I kept choosing them over myself. And once I got tired of that, I fell in love with God, and then I fell in love with myself. And then I
Right.
wasn't taking anybody's, BS anymore. I wasn't dealing with anything that I didn't have to deal with. And it was so empowering for me that I wanted more people to have that same feeling, because I knew I wasn't alone. I knew I wasn't the only one making bad choices when it came to love. I knew I wasn't the only one not loving myself enough to do the right things for myself. So I wanted to use this newfound empowerment that God gave me to spread light to, people, not just women, but men too, who needed that, to know that they weren't alone and that it's possible to not only get out, but stay out and do better for yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, domestic violence is definitely I totally, I'm totally against domestic violence toward any woman. And for you to use your pain to turn to art is a great blessing. Um, your first poem that you wrote about you overcoming your obstacles, did you actually recite that in public?
No, I don't think I've ever recited it, honestly.
Hmm.
So I write every day, I feel like. But it's a lot of poems that the public never hears. Because some of them are just for me, it's just therapy for me to keep
That's
getting
good.
through.
Right.
Um, but when I did find the courage to put my story out there, it was received very well. I had quite a few people coming up to me in tears, because they told me that I said exactly what they needed to hear. So it empowered me to keep going, to be more vulnerable in my poetry, because me sharing my story was giving other people permission to,
Yeah.
live in their truth. And once I realized that, it was like it was no turning back for me.
Wow, that's great. So the poem. So when did you finally, what year was it that you decided to use your art to give to the public?
I would say, it was about 6 years, 5 to 6 years ago.
Okay.
My very first open mic was with Voices Empowered. Shout out to Lewis and the whole Voices Empowered team.
Mhm.
It was a rooftop event, and I actually went with my ex-husband, and he was being so rude, and he didn't want to be there, and it was clear that he didn't want to be there. And it kind of it kind of tickled me to force him to stay there longer. And I was like, he has no idea that I'm about to get on the stage and really make him, not want to be here. So Lewis was, encouraging me, because I was completely terrified, because I was still scared of my ex-husband at the time. But I knew it was something that I had to do. And Lewis, he encouraged me, not only encouraged me, but kind of like forced the mic in my hand and made me get up there and recite my poetry. And when I was finished, it was just like a weight was lifted off of me. And it was like, wow, I can do this. Like, this wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Wow.
And as a child, I was always in choir, in front of, large audiences, because like I told you, I used to sing. And they used to always give me the solos for choir. So I was used to, performing in front of people. But once you get into your head, and when society tries to tell you who you are, you lose that
Mhm.
self-confidence. So it's like I forgot that I was capable of it until I got on that stage at Voices in Power that day.
So what was your ex-husband's reaction when you recited that
Oh,
poem?
he was pissed. He was pissed. But it made my night. It made my
Okay.
entire night. Because it's like, you can't, like, he couldn't do anything about it. It was poetry. So once I realized, like, this was my outlet without having to worry about him, necessarily, because in his head it's like, oh, she's just using the art form. She's not talking about me. But no, I'm talking about you. But I'm just not doing
Mhm.
it directly. So it was like an indirect way to let my feelings out.
Right. So that was just a weight off you when she did that.
Yeah, it was so empowering. Like, it was, yeah. It felt like I could
Wow.
breathe for the first time in years.
Okay, that's good. So once you continue to do open mics right after that.
No, I actually didn't. Um,
Really?
because of his reaction, it kind of stifled me, and I was, scared to branch my wings. But I started to record myself at home, and
Okay.
I started to create little poetry videos. I was terrified to post them online, but one day, I forget exactly what happened, but I knew it was a message that needed to be out there. It wasn't about him. It wasn't about what I was going through. It was just about Black people and people loving each other, and it was just like something that I knew God put on my heart to put to the world. And I put it out there, and it was received really well, and I'm like, I should keep doing this. And that's how it started, me doing the videos. And then eventually I'm like, well, these videos are being received well, so maybe I need to get back on that stage. And then DJ Hardcore, shout out to DJ Hardcore. He was having shows, and he inboxed me because he saw some of my videos, and he asked me to come out. And when I came
Right.
out, it was a different experience, and I got on that stage so nervous. I mean, so nervous. By that time, I had actually left my ex-husband. I was actually with someone new, and he
Mm.
turned out to be abusive too, because if you don't heal, you're gonna keep learning that same lesson. But yeah, so he went with me to this one, and he was the loudest. Yeah, yeah. He was the loudest person in the audience, because he could not handle the attention being on me. So he had to draw the attention to him somehow. It seemed like he was
Right.
being supportive from the outside looking in, but me
Mhm.
knowing who he was, it's like, yeah, he was trying to divert the attention to himself, because he was so loud in the audience that you were missing parts of my poem because he was over talking me. But
Okay.
yeah, That one, I completely aired him out in my poetry. And then I realized, like, this is my power. This is how I can, escape this. And I kept going. And slowly but surely, I ended things with him because I found my power. It's like, oh, I don't need you, like, and I stayed on the stage, and I started hitting as many stages as possible just to
Right.
spread the message of self love.
That's great. That's really great. I mean, now your message, once you realized that this was your calling, did you decide to I mean, I know you open mic. Did you reach out to like domestic violence organizations to tell you this?
I'm sorry, one more time.
When you realized this was your calling, did you reach out to domestic violence organizations to recite your poetry to help
No,
other women?
no. I never even thought of that, honestly. But I did have some reach out to me,
Okay.
and I was able to go and perform for quite a few actually, and it was a feeling that I can't explain. It just kind of solidified that I'm doing exactly what God wants me to do. Um, and yeah, it was so
Wow.
empowering having those women say, "Oh, you just spoke my whole entire story, and you don't even know me." And I'll tell
Right.
them it's not me, it's God.
Well, I mean, divine intervention. When you have divinity in your spirit and your soul, that light will show to others. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Wow.
yeah.
So you so now once you established yourself as a spoken word artist, you know, empowering people. When did you decide to get into far as like doing because you're motivated, you're a speaker as well. When did you start becoming a motivated speaker?
The domestic violence events that I would do.
Okay.
Because in between poems, you're giving banter to the crowd. But I didn't realize that my banter fell on the lines of motivational speaking.
Yeah.
So somebody came to me and they were like, "Yeah, I would love for you to be a motivational speaker at my next event." And I'm just like, motivational speaking? I never even thought that that's what I was doing. But if
Mhm.
people feel motivated, why not? So I started reading up on it, how I can be better about it. And I went to the event and it went amazing. And I'm just like, wow, like I can do this too, like it's crazy when you find gifts that you never knew that you had. And the fact that you're able to use it to help other people, it just makes it that much better. So I started to not only do it for events, but I started to do it for just people in general. Anybody who attaches themselves or enters my life, I want to speak life into you. I want you to know that you are capable of doing anything that you want to do, because if I'm capable of surviving two different abusive relationships, and not to mention, an abusive upbringing, and so much that I had to endure, I really believe that the sky's the limit and you can literally do whatever you put your mind to. So I wanted to be that one that speak life, because for the longest, because I didn't love myself, I spoke ill will towards myself and other people. And once I
Right.
realized that it was because of the lack of love that I had for myself, that's when things changed for me. And I'm like, I don't want to be this person. It does not make me feel good. What makes me feel good is speaking life into people. And that's what God
Right.
put me here to do. So I've always been loud. I've always been the one that talks too much. So why not use it for something that can empower and help people and uplift people?
That's right. That's right. You see something negative, you found your worth from something negative.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, for sure.
you found what you were here to put for, that to help others through
Yeah.
negative situations. So that's a great thing. So you are an award-winning poetess. Tell us about that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I was saying you are an award-winning poet as well. Tell us about your accolades.
So yeah, my first award was a shocker. Was not expecting to get it. But they were having this monthly poetry thing. And shout out to DJ Hardcore again, because he's the one who gave me my first award. I went from shaking ready to throw up on stage to getting up there and saying, clear the room, I'm ready to go, you know? So getting that award was just confirmation that I had come such a long way and that I was doing exactly what God put me here to do. So I was really grateful and thankful just to receive it, knowing that the people who received it before me were so prominent in that field.
Right.
Uh, so far, I've won an award for poetry every year for the past 3 years, and I don't
Wow.
even know how to put into words how that feels because it's like this was just something I was using to save my life, you know. Whew, I don't know, I'm about to cry. But it was just an outlet for me. And then it turned into something that was so empowering to the world that it was, and then to receive awards for it, it's like, okay, God, I see you. You know, like I don't know, you know, what I did to deserve this, but I'm gonna keep going. You know, I'm gonna do my best. And
That's
yeah,
it.
every year since I've won an award, and I've just been overwhelmed with gratitude.
Wow. That's a blessing. I mean, for you to, to use your, because words are powerful.
Yeah,
They can either use it for good or bad. So you're definitely using your words for good to help others, to enlighten others, and you receive blessings for it. So you can be proud of yourself.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, being this is National Poetry Month, I mean, how do you, what is your style? How do you define your style of writing? How do you write? First of all, how do you write? When you're in that zone of writing, what do? You listen to music, you listen to other, do you listen to other poets? How do you define your writing style and how do you get into your writing?
Honestly, it'll be something that I hear or something that I might say because I've always been quick with puns, you know, like or a play on words. I've always been good at that. So if
Right.
I'll say something crazy, you know, or that I feel like it may be crazy to other people, I'm like, oh, that might be a poem. Or if I feel it. My best poems came from me sitting down and crying. Honestly, most of the
Wow.
poems that I won awards from is just like something to come over me, and I don't even want to say something. I got to give all things to the man above because it's like God just put this on my spirit, and it's like I gotta get this out. And I'll sit there like literally sobbing while I'm writing, and I know that
Okay.
this is something that needs to be brought into the world. But for the most part, it's emotion. I'm a Cancer. I'm so emotional. Um, I am a big baby. I'm sensitive, so a lot of that I have to get out. So it's water for me. Washing the dishes, I'll get like some really creative play on words, or just taking a shower. Sometimes I gotta like run out the shower and go write this down before I forget it. You know, water is always a big play in my poetry. I don't know what it is about water, but it inspires the crap out of me. I can like even if it's raining outside, and I hear the water coming, it's like, oh man, I need to write. So that's always been really, really helpful. But for me, it's just the feeling. I have to feel it. Once I feel it, it just flows out of me, and I can't stop it. Like some of my best poems I've wrote within 5 to 10 minutes, because it's the feeling that needs to get out more than anything.
How many poems can you write in a day?
Oh, I remember one time I was going through a bad breakup, and I think I wrote about maybe 6 to 7 poems that day.
Wow.
Because I needed to get it out. You know, I'm a single mom. I don't have time to carry this and hold on to this. So I'm gonna write it. I'm gonna let it go, and I'm gonna keep moving with my life. You know.
Okay. Well, that's a challenge there. 6 poems in one day. Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a but now you now what tell us some of the places you perform. I mean, because it's we never a lot of people on the way just think there are a lot of open mic venues in South Jersey and Philly. So where are the places that you decided to perform?
So I've performed all over Philly, all over Jersey, even in New York. And next I'll be in Atlanta for How Sweet the Sound competition. But in Philadelphia, there are so many open mics in Philly. It's not even funny. It's like the new thing to do. Start an open mic. I actually host two of my own. which is last Sunday's open mic. Every last Sunday of the month, we all come together, and we, it's not just poetry though. All talents are welcomed. And it's a really intimate space. I cook the food myself. I want you to have a good Sunday dinner. I want you to come and enjoy yourself. It's free wine. It's just, you leave your mask outside and you come in as who you truly are, and you feel safe and free to express yourself. And then every Thursday, every single Thursday, I am at festivals at 52nd and Walnut in Philly. I host open mic there. It's free to get in, free to perform. And it's a Jamaican spot, so they have Jamaican cuisine that they're selling. They also have a bar. And yeah, so those are just two of my open mics. I also host at Roxy Hall and Bistro. But that's pending right now because the manager is, fighting some health problems of her own. So my prayers are with her. But once she's better, we'll be right back with that. And I just recently spoke to someone who wants me to host an open mic at their coffee shop. So I'm looking forward to that as well. It's been a bunch of opportunities. But all you have to do really is go into Eventbrite. Eventbrite is your favorite place, I promise you. Just type in open mic, and they will list all types of open mics that you can go to. I just performed in Jersey at Open Heart, which is a Christian open mic. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Shout out to Poetic Will. He hosted it, and it was amazing. It's like church service, but an open mic. Like it was beautiful. And it's nothing like it. So if you're in Jersey, definitely go check him out. He hosts every month. Yeah, there are so many. Voices and Power is the biggest one in Philly. They're about to have an award ceremony on Thursday. I'll be helping with that as well. But they are the people that you want to, the platform that you definitely want to hit if you're trying to get your name out there in this poetry world. Like I started as Naima, and the people ended up naming me the self-love poet. So I was just Naima. I don't have a stage name. I'm just Naima. But yeah, everybody started calling me the self-love poet because of my poetry and how I carry it and the way I go about things, and I appreciate that as well. But open mics are everywhere. Don't miss out. Even if you don't want to perform, just go and enjoy somebody else's, because I don't like to go to clubs. I don't like to party. My outlets
Right.
are open mics.
Okay. Now tell us about the competition in Georgia.
Yes, so there's a competition called How Sweet the Sound. This is a choir slash gospel competition, but they added spoken word to it, I believe about 2-3 years ago. And
Okay.
because of them adding spoken word, I applied last year, but I was not chosen because they get thousands of applicants, every time. But this year I applied and I actually made it to the top three, which
Wow.
I'm really proud of. So I'm going out there May 31st. The competition is June 1st. And
Okay.
I'm going to try to bring that win back for Philly. I'm not going to try. I'm going to bring that win back for Philly. Affirmations, okay? Yes, it's an honor to be even chosen. Tamala Mann is one of the judges. So, I mean, they have amazing people that's a part of this. It is a big deal. And I'm
Wow.
just looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Oh,
Well,
another place. I'm sorry, but to go back to the open mic scene, Wilson's.
yeah.
Wilson's in Jersey. I performed there. I opened up for Angie Stone at Wilson. So that's definitely a good place to check out if you're looking for an event or an open mic as well.
Wow. Well, definitely, good luck in Atlanta. Get that award, bring that award back to the East.
Yes.
Definitely. Wow. That is top three. That is phenomenal. Really, it really is. Wow. Now,
Yeah.
click on, I believe this year, this has really, they now have a spoken word category. Really now.
Say that one more time.
I believe they have now a category in the Grammys for spoken word. It's the first time ever. I believe they do now. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I can't understand. I didn't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little better.
Now, I was saying that this past Grammy Award, they have a spoken word category, if I'm not
Oh yes,
mistaken.
they do. They do for poetry albums. So yes, that's my next move is to create an album. I already wrote my book. My book is out there. My book was actually picked up by Yale University, so
Tell
it's
us
in their
about
arts
that.
library.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So I published. Well, I didn't publish my book. Shout out to Black. I'm sorry. I normally have a book right here. Hold on one second.
Yeah, show the book. Yeah.
Okay. So Black Minds Publishing, that's who published my book, if you can see
Okay.
there. Yes.
All right.
But they gave me a distribution deal, so it's wherever books are sold. And when I published it, Noah, shout out to Noah, he reached out to me. I believe my book was only out for about 2 weeks. He reached out to me. He said, "I want to get your book into Yale." And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And like I'm thinking, this man doesn't know me. He could just be tooting my horn. I'll believe it when I see it. And lo and behold, he hit me up like maybe a week or two later, and he had the sticker, the Yell sticker. And so you know how when you go to the library, it's like the little envelope, and yeah, it was just sitting right there in the middle of my book. And I said, my book is in
Wow.
Yale. Like, my book is in Yale University. And oh man, I cried so hard. I cried like a baby. So I will forever be thankful to Noah. He reached out of nowhere. I did not know him beforehand. He was just someone who heard about my book or read my book, and he wanted it, to be out there for the Yale University students to read. And it was an amazing feeling to know that somebody thought that highly of my work of art, to want top scholars, to read it.
Wow.
And yeah,
Now,
so
did
that was
they
a huge
invite you?
blessing.
Did they invite you to Yale University yet? Did you speak about
No,
the
not
book?
yet, but trust me, I am still working on it. I emailed them so periodically to see when they're, when I can get over there, because I definitely want to go. It would be amazing to be able to go into Yale and do a reading or talk to the students. That would be amazing.
Wow, that's good. Wow, your book. I mean, look at where you come from. I mean, what you went through with your life, and look at your life between now. You're award-winning poetess. You're you're an author in one of the most prestigious libraries in the institutions in the world. Your book is in the library. I mean, you definitely turned your life around, and I mean, there's more to come. There's more to come with it. So I mean, it's just a great story to hear about what a sister has done with her life, and you use the power of your art to turn your life around and see it with others. I mean, that's a great thing.
Yeah, I owe it all to God, honestly. Because if it wasn't for me falling in love with God, I would not have realized that I was created in His image, and that I'm just as amazing as everybody else that I was looking up to. That everything I need is inside of me. There's not anything out here that I need to go get or that I need to chase after, because God already put it all inside of me in order to get where He wants me to go. As long as I feel like, as long as I keep my heart good, because a lot of people, they get hurt and they become like what hurt them. I don't never want to become that person. And I believe as long as I keep my heart good, and keep pure intentions, because if I come into your life or if I meet you, I want the best for you. I want to leave you better than I found you. And I believe as long as I stay that way, there's the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit, and there's nothing I can't do.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm just thrilled for you, and I mean, why do you? Let me ask you, why do you feel that words are so powerful? Um, when people hear your words and they tell you, that your words turn their life around. I mean, what is that feeling like? I mean, to hear that someone whose life is going towards negative, that they read your words and it turned their life around because of your words. What is that feeling like?
That is an indescribable feeling. I'm about to cry now. I'm such a crybaby. I'm sorry. That is really an indescribable feeling, because it's like, to know, when I first started, I remember when I created my artist Facebook page, and I created this page to hopefully help someone, even if it's just one person. Um, and to know that my words have had an impact. Mm, to know that my words have had an impact on people as much as it has, it's changed my life. Because it's not about the money for me. It's not about the accolades. It's not even about the awards. It's about the people that I'm able to touch, because that's all I ever wanted to do. Because I remember being by myself. I remember not having any hope. I remember feeling like this is it. Like, this is just as good as it's going to get. This is my life now. And it was people I was able to hear or that inspired me, and to know that I'm now that person that's inspiring other people, it's an indescribable feeling. It that's all I really need. That's payment enough. That is everything for me. I've had quite a few women come to me and tell me like, "Oh, I left him," or "Oh, I'm doing this now," or "You have no idea what your poem did for me." And it's like they have no idea what they do for me when they tell me that, because it gets, sometimes this is not easy. Being your own person in this world that where people just want to blend in, or people just want to copy or be like the next person, being your own person, being original and trying to not flow with the masses, but just be who God created you to be. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. And sometimes you feel lonely, you feel lost, you feel like, am I doing the right thing? And then you get those people who come up to you and it's like, yeah, I am. I am. I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm going against the grain and it's okay. I am being authentically Naima, and that is completely fine. And for the people who see me, I'm giving them permission to be themselves, because it's so easy to fall into the matrix of just wanting to be like everybody else. But when you're authentically you and you don't care what anybody else think, you give other people permission to be authentically them. And it's so powerful.
That's a good name for your album, Authentically Naima.
I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna write that down. Yes.
That'd be a good name for your album. I mean, yeah.
Yes.
So you definitely, yeah, I totally understand. I mean, your work, I mean, for you to, your art being influenced and inspired, be inspiring by others to turn their life around. I know that's I can tell that you're very, very touched by that. What did your family think about how you turned your life around?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna be completely honest. My family does not support me the way that I would like for them to.
Mm.
Um, yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, I know you have to be at a certain point in your life and your healing to be able to be happy for somebody else. So if you're not working on yourself, if you're not healing, then it's hard to be happy for somebody who is. Because you look at them as competition, or as, oh, they think they're better than me, instead of who they really are. I would want to believe that my family is happy for me. But I know that I've gotten quite a few negative comments about things that I've done, or the way that I've went about things. But I know for the most part, especially once I published my book, they all bought my book. So I want to believe that they're coming around and that they are genuinely happy for me. But at the end of the day, if I'm being completely honest, I don't care. I used to care so much about them supporting me. I used to care so much that it hurt my feelings when I'm having these shows and nobody's showing up. Like my uncle has come to my show, and I love him dearly for that. My mom has went to one open mic with me, and I love her for that. But as many shows as I've done, my family does not show up for me. And it's okay now. Before, it used to hurt me because it's like, yo, I'm out here trying to do something positive. Imagine how much further I could get if y'all actually supported me and helped me, to go further. But now it's like, I only need God. I only need God. You can want the support, but at the end of the day, you don't need it. You don't need it. You just need God, and to stay focused on the mission, because He will put complete strangers in your life that's going to support you and help you get to that next level, as long as you keep your faith and you believe. So I've met so many people that have become my poetry family, and they have helped me. They have supported me, and they have pushed me to keep going. So as far as my real family, I love them. There's nothing I wouldn't do for them, and when I make it, I'm still going to look out for them. But I'm also never going to forget the times where I had to support me because they wouldn't.
Mm. Wow. Now you're a single mother. Are your children young or are they teen?
So I only have one. I only have one. With my ex-husband, she's 10 now. and I
Okay.
take her to shows with me. I allow her to see the hustle. I allow her to see the, you know,
Mhm.
the sacrifices and the hard work that goes into this. Because
Right.
not not only do I want her to be proud of me, but I want her to know what comes with it all. You know, like this is not just mommy on TV or mommy on you know doing these big shows or you know I don't want her to just see the highlights. I want her to see the low points. I want her to see how much I really go hard for this dream because there's not a day that I'm not doing something. She's like, Mom, it's like you work every day. I said, I do. I
Right.
do because I'm my own
Right.
corporation. I'm my own business. I am my own marketing. I am my own everything. You know, even when it comes to these shows, I'm my own caterer. I'm my own, you know, host, ticket salesman. I am everything. So it's like I have to show her that this hard work, you know, is what gets mommy to them big stages, what gets mommy opening for celebrities or touching these awards. And that's the hard work has to come because you can't
There
just
you
think that it's
go.
going to be easy. It's never easy. So even when I'm just
Yeah.
going to go sell books, I'll take her with me so she can see I only sold 2 books today. But I'm okay. Like I'm happy about it. At least I sold something. I want her to see how hard I worked. So that way when she gets up there, she's gonna know, well, ain't nothing coming easy.
That's right. That's and that's a great way of teaching the babies. You know that hard with success takes hard work.
Yes.
It takes hard work. Now, think about your business. You know, for NV, is for NV Love.
Envy Love Co. Yep.
Think about your business.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. What is
It's Envy Love Co. is my baby. It's crazy because it got started because I actually tried to go into business with 2 other poets who was starting an all-female poetry collaboration, and I
okay?
was, you know, busting my behind trying to help them to build their brand because I wanted to be a part of it, you know, and I felt like I was already a part of it. But when it came down to creating the LLC, they told me that my name wasn't going to be on it, even though I was paying a third of the, you know, the fees. I was putting in so much work, if not more than they were, to make this business a success. They Because I was younger and they were a lot older than me, they
Mm-hmm.
told me maybe in a few years they could groom me into being ready to be a part of or to be a partner. And I said, I'm not a dog. You don't have to groom me. Okay.
You doing all the work, and they're gonna cut you out of the business?
They wanted to cut me out the business. So what I did was I gracefully left them alone and I started my own. Because
There
what
you
you
go.
won't do is tell me that I'm not capable. What you
Right.
won't do is try to put me down. They even told me at one point that I thought I was better than them. And that's because of how I carry myself. I am a godly woman. That's first and foremost. I give all things to the man above. But it's the difference between when you're on stage and you're talking about being a good person, and then when you get off stage, you're not that good person. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I was the same person I am. I will always be the same person as on stage as I am off stage because, like I said, I don't have an artist name. I don't have a persona that I have to upkeep. I'm just Naima. So therefore, I'm always going to be authentically me. And people get intimidated by that when they're not comfortable with being themselves. So it wasn't the fact that I was too young. It wasn't the fact that I wasn't ready. It was just the fact that I intimidated them. I intimidated them and they were not ready for me. So, and I'm okay with that now. It took me time to be able to forgive them. And I do forgive them because I know that that was just their shortcomings, not mine. You know, and I know what I bring to the table enough that I went and I started my own company, MV Love Co. Now, MV Love Co. hosts her own events. You know, I bring love and I bring empowerment to the people my own way. I don't have any partners, nobody else. It's just me. If anything, my daughter's a partner because I drag her along to a lot of events and shows and
Yeah.
things like that.
Right.
But it's just me, you know. So, and I'm proud of it because it took them to break my heart for me to realize that I could do it myself.
There you go. Wow, that's great. That's great. And now you're also a radio. Tell us about your radio show.
Yes. So wow. You know, you don't realize how much you do until somebody stops and asks you. Like, man, yes, I'm also a radio co-host for 98.5 FM. Shout out to my co-host, Tariq Malik. I love him so dearly. That's my big brother. He's a comedian. And when I say it is nothing but fun and laughs while we're doing our show, it is always fun and laughs because
How did you get that gig?
I'm sorry.
How did you get the show? How did you get on the show? How did that happen?
I came in for an interview. Believe it or not. I came in for an interview and he told me that he needed a co-host. And I was like, oh, I could be a co-host. And I was just, throwing it out there. I wasn't even serious. And he was like, okay, well, come back next week. And I came back next week and now we almost over a year. Yeah, we're over a year in now. And that's how it became.
Okay.
But I went from doing the LOL show every Tuesday night to now working on our flagship show as well every Friday with the main proprietors of the radio. So yeah, I've come a long way in this radio game. I even was asked to do a documentary, an interview. Man, I'll oh, I'm forgetting his name. I hate that. I hate that. I'm so bad with names and I'm good with faces. But yeah, he brought me on to interview him for his documentary. Alvin. Testimony. Testimony is his poetry name. Testimony is
Okay.
his poetry name, but he brought me on to interview him for his documentary. And it was amazing. Like, and the radio is what, made them think enough of me to bring me on for, a movie to interview somebody. But yeah, I came in for an interview of me for my poetry, and I left with a radio co-host position.
Now,
And that's
what's
just
your show?
because, I'm sorry.
What is your show about? I'm sorry.
So
What
our
is your
show, we bring on independent artists, small businesses, and we want to give them the time to shine and expose themselves. So pretty much it's for the community. If you are somebody who wants to get more listeners, get more followers, get more views or more streamers, come talk to us. We put on the independent artists, we put their music on the radio. A lot of them has had their music played on the radio for the first time because of us. And that is something
right?
that I'm extremely proud of because it
Right.
not only gives them a chance to gain more exposure, but it gives them faith that they can do it. So it's like it's a really good feeling to know that we're helping people to do that. And with the small businesses, they come on and we want to get you the exposure to get more customers, more clients, whatever your service is. We want to help to make it bigger, expose it. And it's been really good. But we do it in a comedic way because my co-host is a comedian. I'm a poet. It's like a poetically funny type of show that you just gotta hear it or see it to really understand because it's magical. We just had someone post a clip from their interview today that we did a while ago, and it's like wow, like sitting back and watching, it's like wow, like these interviews are so good. Like I would sit and watch it even if I wasn't in it, like because it makes you laugh, it makes you think, it makes you want to, know more about the company or the artists themselves. So yeah, it's very powerful. It's very powerful, and I love what I do. I honestly do.
That's great. Wow. Wow. I mean, that's a great thing. I mean, for you to use your art and the brother using his comedy to help the community. That's a great show. So
Yeah. I'm sorry.
when did it air your show?
So we're on every Tuesday night from 10 to 12, and then I do the flagship show every Friday from 5 to 8, and then it's 8 to 10 for the after show, the after party.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, definitely you gotta put me on your show. I definitely want to be on your show.
Yes. Are you on the East Coast? Where are you located?
Atlanta.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to drive one out to Philly, sure, we can definitely set that up and get you an interview going.
Yeah, I love to be on your show. That's no doubt, no doubt. Now, um, you know, we got a few more minutes here. Uh, from everything that you've accomplished, as far as in your life, I mean, you're still going strong. What more do you want to do?
Oh, I feel like I'm just getting started. It's so much more that I want to do. I want to travel the world, honestly. I want to reach as many people as possible with this message of self-love, because I feel like it can change the world in its own way. A lot of us are just so condemned. We're comparing ourselves to this person, or comparing ourselves to that situation, or comparing our relationship to that relationship. We're just in the world of comparison, when it's like it's only one of you, and if you really just knew who you were and loved on you, you wouldn't want to compare yourself to anybody else, because you're going to see how powerful you are alone. And I feel like if more people just learn to love themselves, man, this world would change in a major way. We are all so creative and so unique, but we're too busy trying to blend in. Even with these BBL surgeries and things, like I posted on a friend's status, because they were saying how their locks, they grew their locks for over 5 years, and now because of fake locks, they're being asked, is their hair real? And I said, I grew my booty since birth, and people are asking me who's my doctor, So it's crazy how this world is so into changing themselves to be like something else. Like we're wearing uniform bodies. Everybody has the same hairstyle. Everybody is just doing what somebody else is doing. It's like, God didn't make you for that. Like, he wants you to add that unique fingerprint, because none of us have the same fingerprint for a reason, into the world. It's something that you have that the world needs. And if you loved on yourself enough, it would feel like, you would feel wrong for not putting it out there, like that's how I feel. If I don't go to a poetry show, if I don't give them my best performance, I feel like I did something wrong, because I know my imprint needs to be out there for the world to see. So I want to reach as many people as possible. I want to travel the world. I mean, I want to be international with it, like I want to go so far, it's not even funny. I want to see the world, and I want to bring this message and this self-love with me, and love on as many people as I possibly can. I want to write more books. I already finished Surviving Love. It's called After Surviving Love, my second one, that I'm going to get published soon. I want to do a poetry album. I want to collaborate with some really prominent, phenomenal artists that may not even see poetry as, an art form, or never even thought about combining poetry with their art. I want to do so much that when I'm done with this world, I know for a fact that I left a whole lot of people better than I found them.
That's great. Wow. Seems like, and so you want the right path for what you want to do. I mean, you've accomplished so much in the past few years. I mean, and you're saying you want the right path. What's next? I know you got the award show in Atlanta. So what else is coming up for you?
Besides, so I've been like full focused on Atlanta because now I'm only a month away, really. But I've been so full focused on Atlanta. This Thursday is Voices in Power award ceremony. I wasn't nominated, but I'm still going to help out, because I feel like it's so much bigger than winning an award. Like I said, I want to, still help and leave my imprint. But the award ceremony is Thursday, and the crazy part is I have my open mic on Thursday as well, so I'm gonna have to try to do them both some way somehow, because even when I double book, I find a way to make it happen. But I'm more so focused on hosting. I'm more so focused on touching as many stages as possible right now. I feel like it's a slow climb, but slow is better than nothing, because if you're doing it the right way, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be like an expeditious turnaround, but it's going to happen. And I really know in my heart that this is going to take off in a way that I don't even see it coming. I just have to stay focused and keep doing what I'm doing. So next, I am trying to get After Surviving Love published. I am trying to start my poetry album. These are things that I want to do in the immediate future. As well as continue to host, because bringing people together, it makes me feel like I'm doing something right, especially when we got some good food and some good energy. It makes me feel like, something great is happening. So yes, I'm looking forward to this Sunday, April 28th will be my last Sunday event, every last Sunday of the month. So I have a lot of people that's interested and that's coming out, and I'm really, just genuinely happy to have them, genuinely happy to be doing this. I'm ecstatic about every day. What can I do every day to make this better? So it's the journey for me. It's the marathon. I'm not in a race. I'm not in a rush. I'm letting it happen organically. I don't know what the tomorrow is going to bring. I literally wake up with no plans. I just let the day lead me, because I know that in doing that, there's a sense of freedom that I never had working a 9 to 5. I've never had not living in my purpose. So yeah, I wake up, I do my prayer call with Terry and Laquanda, and I go from there wherever God leads me.
That's
But every
great.
day is an adventure, I can tell you that.
That's great. Let everyone know where you can, your social media, where they can reach you at.
Yes, so you can follow me, the letter N like Nancy, V like Victor, _love_all. Because when I say NV, they start typing in the word NV, but it's really just my initials. And it's just reminding you to love everybody. So it's the letter N like Nancy, V like Victor, _love_all. On Facebook is NV_love_all. On TikTok, oh man, TikTok is just NV love all, no underscores. My TikTok is actually like blown up. I got like over 16,000 followers on TikTok. I'm trying to get that on Instagram too. But yeah, follow me, keep up with me,
That's
talk to me
great.
on
Now,
Monday.
this is National Poetry Month, and you know, why is it so important to honor those who use spoken word for their gifts to influence others? Why is it so important for National Poetry Month, in your opinion?
In my opinion, poets, authentic poets, genuine poets are therapists. We say what you need to hear, and we help to change your perspective on things. So poets, even though we're one of the most, I want to say one of the most slept on forms of art, we are so valuable. We are so powerful. And loving on your poets, loving on your artist friends, it encourages them to keep going. Every time you get into a poetry room, I promise you, you're going to leave lighter than you came. You're going to be able to let go and release some things that you didn't even know you had built up. So poets are doing work that people don't even realize we're doing. We are really your therapist, your best friend, your cousin, your homie, lover, friend. I mean, we are all of that when we get on that stage and give you our authentic selves. So love on
Right.
these poets, y'all. Love on us because we love on y'all, and we do it for a reason. Especially the ones who are genuinely doing it to make a difference or doing it to help people. They are needed. They are powerful, and they need support. People don't support poets as much as they should. So I really believe that things are going to change. Things are definitely going to change going forward, especially with us in the Grammys now. Like they starting to pick up, they starting to recognize it.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, that's the first. I mean, that's great. I appreciate your view on National Poetry Month and how it's important, to use your words to influence others. That's a great feeling. Um, Miss Naima, I mean, the self-love poet, I appreciate you being here, and I'm letting you spotlight at the beginning of National Poetry Month. Um, I'm glad you spoke your truth and you used you overcame a lot in your life and you turned your life around. You're now celebrated, award-winning artist, author, so I'm just honored that, to be on our show and to share your story and to influence others. And I'm hoping that, whoever's watching this live will be inspired to turn their life around. They're going through something. Hopefully, watching this will turn their life around. So I appreciate you being on Money Movie Spotlight. I really do.
I appreciate you for having me. This was a really great interview. And hopefully, somebody does see my story and know, like, hey, I can do it too, because that's what I'm here for. I want to encourage as many people as possible. But thank you for having me. This has been amazing. Thank you for listening to me ramble on for an hour.
No, no, not at all. I enjoyed it. I really do. We're about Black music culture, and spoken word is Black music
Yes,
culture.
it
It,
definitely is. It definitely is.
Black music culture. So we wanted to honor those folks, who do their thing, and you're doing your thing. So we appreciate you.
Yes. And all of y'all who are watching, go get the book, okay? It's anywhere books are sold. Go get the book, okay? It's worth the read. Trust me. It's definitely worth the read. You're going to feel so much better about yourself once you finish reading this book.
It's in the library, so hey,
Yes.
hey, you can't sleep on that.
Yes, okay? You better let them know.
The self-love poet, thank you again for being on our show. Before
Thank
we go, I
you.
want to let you know that the Rhythm Blues Preservation Society is a nonprofit organization. If you would like to make a donation, you can go to our Cash App, $ RBPS 18, PayPal.me/RBPS 18, and Venmo at RBPSOC. All donations are tax deductible and appreciated. Again, my name is Sergio Cole. We thank you for being on Money with the Spotlight. Continue success. Enjoy yourself in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Have a great time.
Thank
Make those
you.
connections. Make that network down there. Get those
Mhm.
connections down there. You know what I mean? Continue what you do. And we pray for you, and we salute you.
Yes. Thank you so much. I hope you have an amazing night. Thank you for having me. And thank y'all for watching and listening. Okay. I love y'all. If we can hate for no reason, we can love for no reason. I love y'all.
Yeah, we want to thank everyone who's joining our Money in the Spotlight Live. Perry Thompson, founder, CEO, executive director of the Rhythm Blues Preservation Society. We wish everyone a good night. We'll see you next time. Peace and love.
Yes.